Okay, let's talk about self-worth. Let's talk about your value. Where does your value come from? What makes you more valuable or less valuable? You know, for years, generations, ages, women have been valued on their appearance, beauty, service, their ability to serve the needs of others, sexual desirability. Often, as a girl or a woman, you receive messages that your value is based on how you look and how attractive others find you and how much you please others. In a similar way, men and boys have expectations placed on them and often have their value tied to certain things. For example, strength or power, whether that's economic power, social power, their ability to win at things, their ability to succeed, to compete, to overpower. Often we're told a set of messages based on our gender about where our value comes from. But then your parents or your culture or your community might have other values. You might take those on. You might believe that your value comes from being humble or being in a certain kind of career or job, having a certain kind of family. You might feel that your value comes from being a certain way, looking a certain way, being thought of a certain way. You might link your value to how productive you are, what you achieve, how you compare to other people. What you own. Where does your value come from? I am going to put forward an idea from a true self-love and self-worth point of view. And that is your value, your true value is unconditional. Love does not put conditions on your value. It comes from the mere fact that you are alive. Just think, when a baby is born into a loving family or to a loving parent or to a loving reception, whoever that might be, when a baby is received with love, what is required in order for that baby to be loved? Does that baby have to be physically perfect? Often babies are born with some physical issues, and are those babies any less loved? Does love for that baby depend on that baby being physically perfect? On that baby being a particular gender? Of that baby having any particular traits or skills or abilities? If you think the answer is yes, that conditions can be placed on love for that baby, then I would say that is a definition of love, but it is not love. And you can tell what love is because it has certain characteristics. Just like you can tell what a tree is. It has certain characteristics. You can tell what a car is, and you can tell the difference. And in the same way, it's easy to tell love from not love, because love has the characteristic of being accepting, welcoming, interested, curious, receiving with openness, wishing well without conditions. That is love. If you have conditions attached to any of those things that you are considering calling love, that's not love. I'm not saying that's bad, and it might be appropriate for the situation, right? But it's not love. So if being loved is dependent on certain conditions, that's not love. You might find this a challenging idea. You might say, oh, does that mean that if I love my partner or boyfriend or girlfriend or child, that whatever they do, that's absolutely okay? And the answer is no. Loving someone doesn't mean having no boundaries and no standards. It means that you still have boundaries, you still have standards, and you communicate those things because that's a loving thing to do, to communicate your boundaries and standards. It's a loving thing to do to honor your boundaries and standards. So you communicate those things. But you don't not love that person because of that. For example, suppose you're with someone in a romantic kind of relationship and they become addicted to alcohol or drugs. And they have this severe addiction that is destroying them, their health, their well-being in every way, and impacting everyone around them. You're not going to stop loving that person because they have these problems. But loving that person doesn't mean that they can do whatever they like. Love is about acceptance, not permissiveness. There is a difference. And so, coming back to our original question, what is your worth? What is your value based on? Anytime you notice yourself thinking poorly or badly of yourself based on any condition at all, that's a flag to show you that you are not loving yourself and that there's some work that needs to be done there if you want to love yourself. That doesn't mean that you're going to be a big fan of absolutely everything you do. But it does mean that if you make a mistake or if you're doing something that you think, oh, that's not great, I don't want to be doing that, you respond to yourself with love and acceptance and support and help and encouragement and reassurance. You respond with, hey, do you know what? You feel really badly. You made a mistake. You did something, wasn't great, I understand. And how can I support you to help you with this issue? What do you need? What's going to help you to change that? That's the response, not like, you're so terrible, or I guess speaking to yourself, you'd be going, I'm so terrible, I'm a terrible person, I'm worthless. Like, that is not loving yourself, obviously. And so this is the thing to watch out for. Any thought at all where you think badly of yourself, that's a flag that you're not loving yourself. Answering that question, what is your value based on? What is your worth based on? Where does self-worth come from? It comes from understanding that it's just there. You're born with it. You're born precious. You're born valuable. Not because of anything you are, not because of anything you do, not because of anything you achieve, not because of any potential that you have to live up to, but simply because you exist. As soon as the baby is born, the baby can be celebrated. If the baby is struggling in any way, you still love the baby. You help the baby. That's what it means to love. Is that baby valuable? Is that baby precious? Absolutely. How valuable? How precious? Immeasurably valuable, immeasurably precious. That's where your value comes from. Literally just existing. You are valuable. You are precious. You don't have to earn it. Nothing changes your value. Nothing can take away your value, your worthiness, your preciousness. Nothing can take those things away. And when you recognize this, when you understand this on a deep level, all those things that may crop up where you judge yourself, or where you're hard on yourself, or where you pressure yourself for different things, are much easier to let go of. They can just disappear because you understand your value, you understand your worth, and you understand that all mistakes, all weaknesses are a signal pointing to how you need more love, more support, more help. They're a signal for you to pour some love in, some compassion and understanding and some support. It's not a signal for you to judge. I really want you to get this, because I am here to help you step into your power. I'm not giving it or coming up with it. It was there as soon as you were born. The moment you were born, it came into existence. Your preciousness, your value, unconditional, unconditional. Stop putting conditions. Stop putting conditions on yourself. Stop putting conditions on your value and your self-worth. It's already there. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to achieve it. You don't have to prove it to anyone. It's already there. Know this. Take a moment and know this.